Here's one bright, warm, talented lady whom we're always delighted to welcome back. Here's Cass Elliot.
Backstage, Rodney and I both brought our mothers with us today. My mother is here. Where are you?
Is she? Where's Mom?
Are you crocheting?
Oh, hello
Right
there.
there.
Would you stand up and take a bow on camera? Go on. They got a camera on you. That's the real Mama
Yes,
Cass.
that is the real Mama Cass.
Hey, what's this I read about you? You were going to host or be on a Tonight Show and you passed out?
Well, yes.
What was wrong?
I had a headache. I know that sounds really good. Actually, I had the vapors. Remember in the old days, people used to get the vapors and take to the beds with a compress. But I had a headache, and I hadn't eaten anything all day long, and my blood sugar level dropped, and I just sort of tipped over.
That's a prettier ring.
Thank you. My manager gave me that. As well he might.
God, that's
Actually, it's kind of, it's a real, like we used to say on the street when I was growing up, a knuckle duster.
It's better than 20%.
It's a lot better than 20%. We were talking about that backstage. You know, agents and managers complain about how much money they're getting. And whenever an agent or somebody that's working with me says, they complain about the money, I say, well, look, you go out and do it, and I'll take 10%. I don't mind.
That's
you go right ahead. You try it.
Or the
couple
ones
of
who
times.
take 50% of your income. When you do half the show, you say, come on, you finish it.
That's right. You do the second half. You close the show. Well, what I wanted to say was, you can't pass out in the privacy of your own home. I had to do it at NBC, where there were millions of cameras and people all around me and everything, and it was really depressing. But I'm okay.
Rodney, are you trying to get it open now, son? You want me to open it for you? Here, let me get it. Excuse me, Cass. There.
All right.
Yeah, thanks a lot.
Don't step on the suede shoes,
Oh,
Michael.
sorry about that. But you passed out and
I passed out
did you go
with
to the
curlers
hospital?
in my hair. Yes. When we're growing up, our mothers always tell us, and I can say this with my mother. Your mother always used to say before you leave the house, make sure you change your underwear. God forbid you should be in an accident. But nobody ever tells you about passing out with curlers in your hair. That's a good look. When you're trying to get all fixed up, ready to go somewhere, and you've got curlers in your head. It's not really the most attractive thing I could have
You
done.
remember the last time you were here? What
Yes,
happened?
I do.
Cass has a thing for tasty cakes, which are cupcakes. Are they just in this area, or are they all?
Well, since that show,
They're
I
everywhere.
mentioned. Well, no, I had mentioned that I really like tasty cakes, and Mike brought out. I don't know, a carload at least. And so I had all these cupcakes in my hotel up in, I was playing at the Latin Casino the last time I was here. So then, when the show aired that we did, the Tasty Cake Baking Corporation, this is the continuing dramatic saga of Cass Elliot and the giant tasty cake that devoured the Hollywood Hills. So they Have you had tasty
I'm gonna take a
cakes?
snooze for a minute.
Okay.
You take a little snooze, we'll give you a cupcake when you get up, because I know I'm not going to leave town without cupcakes.
And I'll give you some candy, too.
Okay.
I already had some. I wasn't going to tell you, but there was some backstage that I had to have some just to keep myself going.
So go ahead.
So they said, well, I mentioned on the show that they didn't sell tasty cakes in California, so people got real hot about it, the people who do sell tasty cakes in California. So they said, well, you come on in and we'll give you all the tasty cakes you want. And, I said, great. And I knew it. They were stale. I knew they didn't travel well. So remember, tasty cakes don't travel well like good French wine. They have to be had on the East Coast,
One other thing I recall you mentioning when you were here last, a new boyfriend.
Yes.
How are things going?
Very well, thank you.
Is this serious?
What do you mean by serious? Marriage?
Yeah.
I don't get that serious. I've been that serious twice, and that was too serious.
You were married twice?
Yes, I was.
Well,
I don't think I'll do it again.
Why not?
I don't know. I guess I think I'm really too selfish to get married. I like to play around. I don't mean sexually, promiscuously. I mean, I just don't, sometimes I just don't want to be with somebody. And that's real hard when you're trying to maintain a
It's
marriage
tough when you're
relationship.
married, you don't want to be with somebody.
Yes, you understand what the problem is. Right. So we're together, George and I are together until we're not. At the moment, I'm on the East Coast, he's up in Northern California. And
I also read somewhere where you said that marriage should be abolished.
well, I think I was too strong about that.
Maybe that was the night just before you passed out.
I think, or it was probably during my second divorce. I think it's probably what it was.
Why did people say things like that?
Well, I don't know. I don't think marriage should be abolished. I think that for some people it's really a super thing. I think for me it's not, because I'm used to being on my own and not having to answer anybody for nothing. And I don't really want anybody saying to me, what are you thinking, all the time.
If you weren't in this business, because this is a tough business, I think it is a tough business. Tough
That's
for men
sure.
and women, but tougher for women.
I think so.
Do you think if you were not in this business, you would feel differently about marriage?
I mean, that's like asking me, you know, if I were tall and skinny, what would I be doing? I mean, I am in this.
No.
I'd be married. I've been in the business 15 years come September, and so I can't really, and that's almost half my life too, I can't really imagine what else I would be doing. I think at one point in my life I wanted to, you know, do what everybody else wanted to do, or at least the people that I grew up with, you know, which was, you know, find somebody that you loved and dug and wanted to be with more than anybody else in the world and have children, and he would work.
Now that's also another problem for
It's
somebody in this.
also a lie.
This fellow's not the working type?
Oh, we're not talking about my relationship at the moment.
I see.
You know,
he works.
Yes, he does.
Is he a producer or what?
He's an actor and a writer.
Good
songwriter.
one?
I don't know. I don't ask him about his work.
You're an actor too?
Yeah.
Do you like to work?
Yeah.
You don't ever get tired of working?
Nope.
What about the 10th take of a commercial when you have to pound the hamburger? That doesn't bug you either?
I don't care what, I'll just tear the hamburger up.
What is an alternative for marriage, Cass?
Well, it depends on what you expect from marriage. I mean, some people get married just so they don't have to work. You know, that still happens. A lot of people get married so that somebody else will take that burden. To me, an alternative, see, I hate that word alternative. I would say the relationship that I have and have had in the past with maybe one or two other men, I don't know whether, you know, I can say this on television, but I'm gonna. I mean, I think there's nothing wrong with living with somebody that you like and that you love. It was a difficult decision for me because I'm going to be 33 years old in September, and I come from a generation that is sort of bridging the gap between what I think the new lifestyle for the world is and what the kind of old lifestyle was. I mean, we are sort of middle-of-the-road liberals, you know? I mean, we're liberal about the way education is, and we're liberal about religion. And I don't use that word politically. I'm not talking like Mort Saul says when he says middle-of-the-road or right-wing social democrats. What I'm saying is that half of the women are evolved and half of them are liberated and half of our generation will not be liberated. I don't even want to get into that because we talked about that last time I was on the show. What I'm saying is let's put it this way, it would not break my heart if my daughter did not get married.
What is your mother's reaction to what you've just said?
You have to ask her.
You've said this before, I know.
Well, I think, and I'm going to say this even though she's in the house.
Wait, let's ask your mother.
She'll tell you.
What is your reaction to what your daughter just said?
Well, I think it's dynamite. I'm just jealous that I'm not living now.
All right, Mom.
We'll be right back.